The following presentation is a teaching by Avraham Emuna. In this teaching, I'm going to present to you a profound and new understanding of the flat earth theory. Not as an actual physical reality, but rather how its metaphysical discussion can change our perception of the universe as well as enhance our connection with accessing divine knowledge. There's a reason the so-called flat earth theory refuses to vanish from public discussions and speculations. Not because the earth is actually flat, it isn't, but because hidden beneath the surface of that idea is a mystical echo, an ancient intuition, a spiritual metaphor too powerful to die. What if the world is flat, not physically but dimensionally? What if the flattening is not about geography but about consciousness? We live, in a sense, in a mirror world, a reflective realm that hints at higher truths but conceals them behind a layer of distortion. From the perspective of Jewish mysticism, the universe we perceive is not the full expression of reality. It is a lower dimensional imprint, a reflection of higher, more expansive spiritual worlds. It mirrors realms that reach all the way up to Atzilut, the world of divine unity and emanation. But we, here in the world of Asiya, the world of action, are like shadows trapped inside this mirror. We behold flickers of light, distant echoes, but not the source. We live in a spiritually flat-landed realm, bounded by linear time and fragmented perception. In this world, time moves like a straight line. Events unfold in sequence. We're locked into beginning, middle and end, one moment at a time. But this was not always the case. According to Kabbalah, before the fall, Adam Harishon, the first soul, lived in a state of expansive perception. His awareness encompassed all the worlds. He existed in a reality where past, present and future were unified in an eternal present. The Garden of Eden was not merely a physical location. It was a state of being, a dimensional space where all things were connected, all vibrations harmonized, and all truths illuminated. The fall from Eden was, more than anything else, a fall from dimensionality. Humanity collapsed into a linear world of separation and concealment. The sages described this as the descent into the world of the klipot, shells that cover and obscure the divine light. This post-Eden world is a flattened simulation, a plane of echoes where light becomes shadow and truth is obscured by its own reflection. The Zohar speaks of this reality as a kind of mirror. We see through it dimly, never directly. It's a world of falsehood, not in the sense that it's a lie, but because it's upside down, like a mirror inverting the image. We no longer see reality as it is. We see only its projection on the surface of the veil. We see everything as flat, but that veil is not permanent, and the redemption of the world is the tearing away of that veil, the breaking of the mirror, not to destroy the reflection, but to allow the light behind it to shine through fully. In Ecclesiastes, we are told, "There is nothing new under the sun. That which has been is that which shall be." This verse, far from being a statement of futility, is in fact a cosmic truth. Time is not linear but spiral. History does not repeat in circles but in ascending helices. Every cycle revisits the same archetypes but on a higher level of refinement. Like a spiral staircase reaching heavenward, we relive ancient patterns, not to be trapped by them but to redeem them. This is the mystery of Jacob's ladder. The angels ascend and descend not in a loop, but on a spiral track connecting heaven and earth. And Jacob, who saw this in a dream, understood that the future is not a blank slate. It's a return to something ancient. The Messianic age, the golden age of man, is not something we invent. It's something we remember. It's the restoration of the time before time, the Edenic memory that lives deep in the soul of creation. In Jewish tradition, there are references to worlds that were created and destroyed before this one. The Zohar and the writings of the Ari speak of primordial worlds, cosmic blueprints, some of which collapsed in the process known as the shattering of the vessels, or Shevirat HaKelim. These worlds were not discarded, they were embedded into our present world like fossils of light. They exist as archetypal memories, whispers of ancient civilizations, legends of Atlantis, myths of talking animals and sentient trees, and ages when men walked as gods among creation. Perhaps these are not mere fantasy but dim recollections of a world that once was, when consciousness infused everything and matter was transparent to the divine. In that world, the serpent, the Nakash, was upright, radiant, and wise. It wasn't a deceiver, but a vessel of knowledge. Trees communicated, animals taught, and man, made in the image of Elohim, ruled not through violence, but through resonance. But all things fell, everything dropped a level, men became like beasts, beasts like plants, and plants like dust. The hierarchy inverted, the light fractured, and now we grope through the mirror, trying to remember what it felt like to see with our soul's eyes. Yet the purpose was never abandonment, it was tikkun. The Hebrew word tikkun, spelled tav, kuf, nun, means repair, rectification, the process of realigning what was broken. But perhaps this root, tkn, has a far wider echo than we imagine. Consider the Greek word techne, meaning art, craft, or skill, the root of our modern word technology. The phonetic parallel is striking. Tikkun and techne, repair and craft. Rectification and invention. Could it be that technology itself is meant to be a tool of tikkun? What we call tech today may be nothing more than the material echo of a spiritual archetype, a continuation of humanity's original task to co-create with God, to build a world in which heaven and earth are unified. But here lies the test. Technology is a tool. Like the serpent, it can serve or deceive. It can be the crooked staff of rebellion or the straight rod of Moses. In the hands of ego, technology becomes a Tower of Babel, a structure built to reach heaven by force which inevitably collapses. But in the hands of wisdom, it becomes the Ark of Redemption, a tool for divine presence, like the staff turned Nachash in the hands of Moses. The goal of tikkun is not to reject the serpent, but to heal it. In the messianic vision, the wolf shall lie with the lamb, and the serpent shall eat dust, not in punishment, but in peace. The Nachash is not erased. It is restored to its original purpose, to aid, not to mislead, like Moses lifting up a serpent on a pole to be beheld by all Israel for healing. Modern science is beginning to whisper these same truths. In string theory, we find the idea of hidden dimensions. In quantum mechanics, we discover that consciousness affects reality. The holographic principle suggests that our universe is a projection from a higher dimensional realm, an idea that reads like a footnote from the Zohar. In fact, what physics is just now discovering, Kabbalah has long taught. This world is a lower imprint, a reflection of higher divine light. Our task is not to escape it, but to transform it. Even time, science now suspects, may not be linear. It may be an illusion born of entropy, a veil masking the eternal now that underlies all being. This too is the teaching of the sages, that in the world to come we will no longer say, "Blessed is he who lives forever," but "Blessed is he who lives in the moment that never ends." And so we return to the beginning. The earth may not be flat, but the spiritual reality we inhabit is a realm flattened by fragmentation, distortion, and spiritual exile. Yet the promise of redemption is not to ascend out of this world, but to expand it, to unfold the hidden dimensions, and to make the flat mirror transparent. Redemption is not invention, it is remembrance. The Golden Age is not ahead of us or behind us, it is within us, spiraling upward through our desire to unify the worlds. And in the final tikkun, when wisdom governs the tools we create, and when the mirror becomes a window, we will once again hear the voice of the trees, walk with the light of Eden, and behold the world, not as it appears, but as it truly is. And then there will be no more separation between science and soul, heaven and earth, serpent and staff, only light, unified, whole, remembered. Thank you for watching. This has been a presentation of Abraham Eminer. The views expressed here are mine alone and are not meant to be an authoritative representation of any one religious tradition.